the Man Who Would Be King poster at home in my hallway.
Yes?
It's been there for 20 years, since I was a child.
That was a good movie.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Period. Oh, that's the...
This is
That's
where
a
it all
big
began.
version.
Yeah.
I never saw that one. The one I sent me was smaller than that, but it's the same thing. He's a heroin addict at the beginning, and
It's vastly different, well,
Yeah.
than the movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is much more adult in nature.
oh yes, oh yeah. Well, you wouldn't get a what do you call it, PR and PG or whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah, you wouldn't get the family
Not
rating.
with that. No.
But when they approached you for this project, that was the first step to read the graphic novel, huh?
No, because I didn't know about comic books. I received the script, and then they sent me the comic book. It's a smaller version than that, but it went to my home in London, and so I was working on that one long before I even got into the comic book. And the comic book, I agree, it's very interesting, risky material, but you can go from what, 5-year-old to 85 in this one, I think.
I read somewhere that you said that you turned down Matrix because you didn't understand it. You
That's
turned
true.
down Lord of the Rings because you didn't understand it.
Yeah.
You didn't understand this, but you'd be damned if you turn this down.
Well, it's not in the case of not understanding it. I thought it was too big a leap to take all these literary characters and put them into a story, and until I read it and put it down, and then it just kept coming back to me. So I went back to it, and it was only when I got involved in it again, and I could see a way to be doing it, and then I read the comic book, you know. But The Matrix is true, and I asked Lawrence Fishburne, because I did a film with him too, and I said, what's it about? And he couldn't tell me, and he's done the movie. Lord of the Rings was going to be 18 months or something in New Zealand, and friends of mine had told me about Tolkien and John Borman, and I never had read it or read lots of stuff. But when I got the script, I couldn't really honestly understand what it was about.
But Alan Quatermain, famous British hero,
Yeah,
and he's a good shot.
yeah.
Would you say he's the self-appointed leader of the League?
Well, he was not self-appointed.
But he seems like the leader, though.
Well, he
seems the
was. He was
kingpin.
appointed. That was the. Well, I don't want to go into the story because
sure.
one reveals it.
Yeah.
But it was put together, as you know, and it's explained later in the script, in the film, that it's not all kosher. It's not all what everybody thinks it is.
He also
That'll
is,
make you think.
That'll make you think, that's right. Full of secrets. But he's still, can we talk about him mourning his son, the loss of his son still?
Yeah, well, that's that's perfectly okay. I mean, well, they're all flawed. All the characters are flawed. Him and her, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Nemo, Dorian Gray, Nemo, the kind of high sea bandit, Shane, that's Tom Sawyer.
We had to throw in an American, though. Yeah, Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
There weren't any Americans in this story.
You're everywhere at the moment. You can't be everywhere in 1900.
Well, just one member.
Well, you have. You've got
We got
Tom Sawyer,
We'll take him.
rafted all the way down to Washington.
We have to. We're after all the way down on the Potomac, right?
Yeah.
58 sets in this movie. This is probably the most visually impressive movies I've ever seen. What was the most impressive to you, set-wise, when you showed up on one of them?
Well, I think I would agree with this. The sets are spectacular, apart from the concept. But the Czech Republic is marvelous with their building construction, the space that you have. We built Venice and filled it with water, and we raced up and down there with the car doing 60-odd miles an hour. And the building inside Dorian Gray's house, the fortress in Russia. I mean, I can't say which one is more. The Nautilus, the submarine.
Well, you brought Alan Quatermain to life. I mean, he really just jumped up. I remember reading him as a child, and you really brought him to life, especially at the beginning of the film in the Hunters Club in Kenya. That really just, everything I remember the story being, you really brought him to. So,
well, thank you.
Wonderful.
Not everybody who's seen the film, it works out about 50-50, knew who the characters were.
Maybe they'll inspire them to read. They'll go find out.
Yeah, well, then they can appear smart and tell others.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Good
thank
luck
you.
with the film.
Thank you.